Sorry. So I was like, at that point I kind of wanted to like get an apartment. The way I was thinking was, okay, maybe if I get an apartment, it'll be too much and they'll give up, basically. So after I left that hotel, I pulled out of that airport, and I said, okay, like at that very moment, I said, okay, well, I'm gonna maybe go try to find an apartment somewhere in Texas. Well, that plan quickly faded because I was still being followed. I went and stayed at another hotel to get sleep one more night, and then, all throughout this, I knew I was being followed. I knew I was not going to go to sleep in my car ever again. I went to another hotel the night of the 27th. On the 28th, I went to the FBI field office in Houston. I know for a fact that I was followed even up to the FBI office. During that time, I had taken the sheet that was in my back seat the night of the first rape on April 18th and saw a stain on it, and I said, okay, that's semen. So let me go ahead and take that sheet and try to give it to the FBI, because that's one of the little pieces of I have so little evidence, and that's a huge part of it. So I went to the FBI. I knew I had to go in person because, number one, I was still being followed everywhere I went. Number two, I don't want to just wait for someone to call me back. Like, this is urgent because I'm still being followed, and I need to give my statement now. These people are clearly never going to leave me. Or at that point, I wasn't thinking never, but I was thinking they're clearly not going to leave me alone as long as I'm in Texas. So I knew I had to go to the FBI. I went to the FBI, even literally just going to the FBI office. And, I'm not trying to paint this with a pessimistic brush at all. I'm just saying the reality for rape victims. I said, I need to give a statement. I've been raped. It's the security people at the front, like the building before the FBI office. I said, I need to give a statement. I've been raped. And he's like, well, we'll let you know if someone can talk to you. I was like, no, I need to talk to someone. I'm just relaying that now to show you how much the cards were already stacked against me and how much you have to do to even get your initial statement taken, right? And I said, well, I have this evidence. Can I bring it in? They wouldn't let me bring anything in. That's fine. I understand that's their protocol. So I finally got up to the building, went through the initial security thing at the FBI field office in Houston, gave my ID to the front desk person within the building. She said, what's going on? I said, I've been raped and stalked. And she wasn't the FBI agent that I gave my statement to. I want to be clear. I said, she was asking me more questions, and I was like, I'm sorry, I have to hold on to the rest of the details until I can speak to the agent. And I'm glad I did that, because by that time I had already realized the corruption aspect of this, and to be careful who I say what to, as a matter of information. So I said, I'm sorry, I have to hold on to the rest of the details for the appropriate agent. And she's like, that's fine. I said, can I please specially request a female agent? So they did that. They had a female agent. I gave her my statement of everything I knew up to that point. And she listened to me. It was probably 2.5 hours, maybe. I might be wrong. I was in the interview room. It was definitely hours worth of testimony already. And just, going through the whole timeline up to that point. At the end, I said, can I please give you the evidence that I have? She said, this isn't my department. you know, she said, this isn't my department. I can't take any evidence. She took down my number. She said, we'll call you if the FBI decides that we're going to investigate this. So, but she did say to me, I would go to where you have family. So I was like, okay, you're right, you know. So, yes, okay, so after that is when I went to the Houston airport. I'm sorry, yes. After I gave the FBI statement, I went to another friend's house. I was definitely followed, and then I went to the airport. I said, okay, I'm just gonna go to where I have family, and you know, at that point I still was just gonna go to Salt Lake City. I thought it was the best place for me to go. Well, I went to the Houston airport. During that time, I was actually driving at night, which already by that point, I didn't want to do that for a couple reasons. Number one, safety. Number two, it's a little bit harder to tell who's following you at nighttime. I still was able to identify, for example, a white car that definitely followed me the night I went to the airport. But I was trying to avoid that. Because of the whole broad daylight thing, right? So, and yeah, the other important part, sorry to skip back, but there was definitely a black car. It's like a small SUV type, you know, like not the larger model SUVs. I want to say Pathfinder. I'm not 100% sure. I have it written down somewhere. But there was a black car that definitely followed me up to the FBI office. Just to give y'all an idea of the fact that I was being constantly followed at that point. Like literally around the clock followed. Looking back, now I understand